Hello again, class. Going to talk now about series of payments that we either make or we receive. We're going to be talking about charts 1B and 1D in the book. So let's first start with 1B. I'll give you the situation again. You, being the wise planner that you are now thinking about your retirement. And you're trying to figure out, how much can I save each year and put in my 401k or an IRA to save money? None of us know exactly how much we're going to need when we retire, so we'd like to save as much as we can. But let's just, we look at our financials and say, looks like I can save about, let's go $1,500. We'll try to save $1,500 each year. Put it into my 401k, and let's see how much money I'll have. So let's look at chart 1B. All right. Now we're putting it in our 401k, and in that we have the option of putting it into a guaranteed return fund, which is probably, maybe 0.8% or maybe even a full percent, maybe 1.5% if you're real lucky. Or we could put it in the stock market. Stock market's really been pretty volatile lately, but over time it averages out, and we're looking at our retirement, and so we're looking at hopefully a pretty good span of time that our money's going to be in the stock market, and hopefully we got ups and downs, but hopefully it's going to be pretty steady over the long haul. All right. Now historically it's about 8%. What we're going to assume is, let's just use that 8%. Let's assume we're going to put our money in our 401k. We're going to invest it in the stock market in one of the mutual funds that the mutual fund provider gives us, and let's go $1,500 a year. All right. So let's look at our chart 1B, page 42, and let's look at 8%. And let's go down to 20 years. Let's say you're 20 years from retirement. Let's say we're going to retire at 65, and we're 45 now. Let's see how much money can we save over those 20 years. All right, so we go down, look at 8%, go down to our 20, and we get 45.762. All right, hopefully you have that handy dandy calculator again. So let's go ahead and multiply it out. And at the end of 20 years, we'll have $68,643. All right. That's not too bad. That's a start. Hopefully, if you're 45, you can put back more than $1,500 a year. 68,000 probably is not going to cut it. Let's just, as an example, that's what we did. Now let's say we're 35, and we've got 30 years till retirement. So let's look at that chart again. 8% down to 30 years. What do we get? 113.280. Multiply that out, and it's looking a little bit better. For 30 years, we'd have 169,920. All right, that's looking a little better. Still, if you're 35, you ought to try to, let's put back a little more than that, 1,500. But that's pretty good. All right. Now let's say you're 25, and we're looking at 40 years till retirement. Now let's look down, and our multiplier is 259.060. And we'll multiply that out, and we get 388,590. So now that's looking better. Those of you that are still in that age group, you don't have to put quite back as much as someone in an older age group that needs to start putting away more. All right, so that's how we use chart 1B. Now, before I go any further, I want to talk about one thing that may give you some confusion about any of the charts or any of the ways that we calculate time value of money. And that is, each chart or each calculator, or when you do it by hand on the formulas, you're going to get a little bit different number. Not very much, a dollar here, a dollar there. And that's just the way the numbers are rounded. Your calculator may round things at a certain point a different way. The charts, as you see, they only go out to 3 digits past the decimal point. And formulas, you can go out as far as you want. Now, so don't let that bother you. Now, if the answer in the book, after you've done your calculation, it's off by 22 cents or something, or a dollar, pick the answer that's close. That's what's important. So hopefully that doesn't bother you. If it does, shoot me an email. We'll talk about it. Alright. Well, that was chart 1B. Let's look at chart 1D now. And I'm going to give you 2 different examples for this one. First, let's say you are really lucky and you win the lottery. Woohoo! Not the real big one, but $5 million. That's pretty good. So let's say you win the lottery. Now, lottery officials are going to say, okay, Bob, you won $5 million. We're going to give you that $5 million spread over 20 years. We're going to give you $250,000 a year. So, being the smart guy you are, multiply 20 years times 250,000. You see, we're giving you $5 million. I go, oh, that's kind of neat. But if I had that $5 million today, and I know the power of compounding, I could get a whole lot more. And they says, you're right. So we can give you the $250,000 a year, or we'll give you $3 million today and call it even. Wonder if that's a good deal or not. I think I better look at my time value of money tables. What we can do is assume that if we took whatever money we have today, put it in an annuity, how much would I have to put into an annuity to get that same $250,000 a year? So let's just assume that we're only going to earn 2%. So let's look at chart 1D again. Let's look at 2%, and let's go down for the 20 periods, and we get 16.351. So it says that we would have to put, let's multiply it out, you would have to put just over $4 million into an annuity that they would pay you $250,000 a year. So, man, that $3 million, I'm better off taking that $4 million because I'm going to get that $250,000 a year. I'm better off. But let's say, well, maybe I could get 4% if I had that $3 million myself. Is it still worth it to not take it but go with the annual amount they're going to give me? Well, let's multiply that out. Let's look at our 4% for 20 years. We look down the chart, we got 13.590. We would have to put in, let's multiply it out, we'd have to put in almost $3.4 million to get that much money. And that's still more than that $3 million, so I think it's still better that I take the $250,000 a year. But then I said, yeah, well, I think I could be a little bit more aggressive and put some money in the stock market, but I'm not going to get real aggressive, so I'm just going to assume 6% return. Let's put that 6% in, and let's check it out. So let's go 6%, go down to the 20, 11.470. Multiply it out. Hopefully you get 2,867,000. Okay. So now my $3 million is better if I can earn 6% interest. It's a little bit confusing, so we probably won't be faced with the question on the lottery winnings, what to do there. If you do, you can hire an accountant to help you figure it out and know what all your different options are. But there's another way we can use Chart 1D, and it is one that all of us, can relate to, and that is want to buy a new vehicle, car, truck, SUV, something, and I'm going to have to take out a loan. I don't have that much cash sitting around that I can just pay cash for my car, and so I figure I'm going to have to borrow $10,000, and we'll have to look and see what they're offering for rates. Now, my credit rating is not very good right now. So the best that I could get from a car company is 12% interest for 30 months. Okay? So, that's the best I can do. Well, let's figure out how much that payment's going to be, whether or not I can afford it. All right. So, we're looking at months, not years, because I have to pay it monthly. And so the periods down the left-hand side of the column are going to be months. So we're going to look at that, the 30. But the interest rate, the 12%, is the annual rate. So we're looking at monthly. Well, 12 divided by 12 is 1. That's pretty easy. So we'll look at the 1% column. 1% for 30 years. All right, 25.808. Now we're not going to multiply that by the 10,000. This one's a little bit different. We're going to take that 10,000, divide it by the 25.808 to see what our monthly payment's going to be. All right, divide it out. All right, you should get $387.48, somewhere around there. So now you got a decision. Can I afford $387 a month? I know my credit's bad, and so it's the best I'm going to do. So you got a decision to make there. Now, if you can get better than 12%, then you're going to use a different percentage rate on the chart. Now, these charts, these are pretty basic, and so they just go every percent, 1%, 2%, 3%, etc. If you want it more detailed, like 1.5% or 1.8%, 2.2%, there are charts you can easily find online that'll give you that kind of a detail. And so if it's, I use 12% because it's easily divided by 12, but if you're getting 8%, you divide that by 12 and you're looking at, a different percentage there. So that's how you can use charts 1B and 1D. Again, if you've got any questions or if this didn't quite make sense, shoot me an email, or actually try the sample questions that are in this glossary back here, or this appendix, and work some of the problems for the homework. If you get stuck on one, it's just this number just doesn't look right, shoot me an email and say, hey Bob, on the problems, be sure to tell me what assignment you're working on, concept checks, problems, quiz, whatever. Okay, on the problems, number 6, I come up with this answer by doing this. That's not one of the options available. What do you think I might be doing wrong? This is how I got it. Give me something to go on. That way I can answer you back and say, okay, what you did was you used an annual rate instead of a quarterly rate, something like that. So, all right, well, welcome to the class, and good luck. And I've said it a number of times. If you got any problems, shoot me an email, give me a call. We'll work it out. All right, have a good semester.